Do you want to guess what I struggle with the most of all the New Start health principles? We have finally come to the last episode of the Bible Health Treasures series, and we've been going through some of the Bible studies, short and concise Bible studies on the topics in the New Start acronym. We've looked at what the biblical principles are for nutrition, for exercise in our healthy environment, for what God's intention was for the uses of water, and so on. And as we went through these, I can assure you, I was well aware of the fact that these were by no means exhausted studies. God's Word has so many more treasures available for those who are seeking out His counsel. Now today, we're going to zone in on one of the most difficult aspects for me. Personally, I find it easier to say no to some of the unhealthy sweet treats in a shop than I find it to regularly get to bed on time at night time. Getting enough sleep has always been a challenge for me, and this has really not become any easier as time has gone. But it is still one of the most important health principles for anyone hoping to look after their well-being. You see, God intended for us to have cycles of rest and sleep, and He even built these cycles into the very fiber of our being from the beginning. The book of Genesis tells us that God created in a cycle of evenings and mornings. It was evening and morning the first day, evening and morning the second day. The nighttime, daytime cycle was brought into existence from the word go. And from then on, God also created other ways to build in rhythms into our lives. The Bible also tells us that there is a time for everything. Different times for different things. There's a time to be speaking and a time to be silent. There's a time to be active and a time to take a break. There's a time for digging and planting, and of course there's a season for harvesting. There's a time for playing until we are breathless, and a time to catch our breath. There's season for plenty and experiencing the bounties of life. And there are seasons where it's more important for us to learn the difficulties when bare necessities like water are scarce. There are seasons for active growth and seasons for being at rest. Even the plants go through these different cycles. There are verses in the Bible where trees are used as a symbol for individuals, and we see this object lesson particularly in fruit trees. Have you noticed how trees have a very clear and distinct cycle through each different season, with different things happening in different parts of that plant through each and every season? In a similar way, different experiences and seasons in our lives also take us through different learning experiences and processes. No one can thrive without rest. Even some of my patients who seem to pride themselves on being able to cope quite fine with very few hours of sleep at night, they usually pay the price later on. God created us to function best and to thrive in terms of our health when we get sufficient sleep. But the Bible also has many verses that invite us to a kind of rest that goes beyond the physiological sleep we need. Jesus invites us to take rests, and in fact this invitation began right in the beginning. First, He created the cycle of nighttime and daytime, rest time and activity time. Then He created the Sabbath and blessed it and set it apart so that we don't only rely on the evening sleep, but on a weekly appointment to spend specially with our Creator, coming apart. When Jesus was on earth, He also used the words, "Come apart and rest a while." And still today, He invites us to these regular appointments, which the Sabbath is a beautiful example of one of these time periods where we can rest and take a break. Isaiah 40 verse 31 says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles, and they shall run and not be weary." When I listen to the noises around me, the dogs barking, people in discomfort, and when I deal with the patients in pain, I'm reminded that this world is in absolute chaos. But Jesus invites us, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and lowly at heart, and you will find rest for your soul. Isn't that what we all yearn for? Not just a good night's sleep, but rest for our souls. And this verse reminds us that that rest is only available when we are yoked together with Jesus. When you are yoked with somebody, you are practically walking in the same direction at the same pace, following their lead. Jesus wants to carry our burdens with us and for us, but we need to be willing to be yoked with him. Our Creator invites us to trust wholeheartedly in him. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. As our series is ending, we want to invite you to stay in touch. Continue sharing your health questions, your comments with us. And as you continue on your quest for learning God's will for your health and for your well-being, I want to invite you to continue digging into God's Word and uncovering all those treasures that are still hidden there. May the Lord richly bless you on your health journey and continue guiding you as he has promised in his Word to do.